The early morning sun filtered weakly through the thin curtains of Maya Thompson's tiny apartment, casting long, gentle shadows across the cramped living room. The city outside buzzed awake. Car horns, the distant rumble of buses, and the clatter of footsteps along the sidewalk. Inside, the aroma of burnt toast and instant coffee mingled with the faint sweetness of leftover cupcakes from yesterday. Mom, today's the day. My birthday. Lily's small voice echoed, full of the kind of excited energy only a 6-year-old could summon. She bounced on her little bed, blankets tangled around her legs, eyes sparkling. Maya smiled, wiping her hands on a dish towel as she stirred a pot of oatmeal on the stove. Her gaze softened as she watched her daughter's excitement. But in the back of her mind, a familiar pang of worry gnawed at her chest. She glanced at her worn wallet, sitting on the counter, its edges frayed. Not a single bill inside would cover the one thing Lily had begged for this year. The pink plastic-glittered Barbie doll in the shop window, perched like a promise of joy, was far beyond her reach. Maya knelt down to Lily's level, forcing a smile that didn't quite reach her eyes. "Sweetie," she whispered, her voice trembling just slightly, I can't afford a Barbie for your birthday." Lily froze, her wide eyes searching her mother's face. For a moment, the laughter and energy seemed to evaporate from the room. "Why, you can't." Lily's small voice quivered, and Maya felt her heart twist painfully. "I wish I could, baby," Maya said softly, reaching out to brush a loose strand of hair from Lily's forehead. "But we'll still have a special day, I promise. I'll make it magical just for you." Lily's lower lip quivered. She wanted to be angry, but all she could feel was a familiar warmth of her mother's love. She nodded silently, clutching the blanket around her shoulders. Maya held her daughter tightly, inhaling the faint scent of strawberries from her hair. "You know," she whispered, trying to inject some cheer, "sometimes the best presents don't come from a store. Sometimes they come from someone who loves you more than anything." Lily sniffled, a small, hopeful smile tugging at her lips. "Really, Mom?" "Really," Maya said, kissing the top of her daughter's head. "Now let's eat breakfast. Big birthdays need big fuel." The oatmeal was modest, plain, and lukewarm, but they ate together with ritualistic cheerfulness that made the small apartment feel a little bigger, a little brighter. After breakfast, Maya helped Lily dress in her favorite pink dress, the one she had outgrown last year, but insisted on wearing again. She tied a small ribbon in her daughter's hair and brushed her fingers over the soft strands, hiding the tears she didn't want Lily to see. "Mom, you'll make it okay?" Lily asked, glancing up with innocent trust. "I promise," Maya whispered, her voice firmer now. "This will be the best birthday ever. You'll see." As Lily dashed off to her little bookshelf, humming a tune she had made up herself, Maya leaned against the counter, closing her eyes for a brief moment. Exhaustion weighed on her, but beneath it was something stronger, determination. She may not have the money for the toys or the parties, but she had love, creativity, and a heart big enough to make her daughter feel like the most special girl in the world. And maybe, just maybe, life had a little magic left to surprise them. Maya opened her eyes and smiled, brushing her hair back. "All right, birthday girl," she said aloud, though Lily was already out of the room. "Let's make some magic happen." Outside, the city continued its relentless rhythm, unaware of the quiet battle of hope, love, and dreams unfolding in apartment 3B. And inside, in that small apartment filled with laughter, whispers, and the faint scent of strawberries, a mother made a silent vow. No matter what, Lily's birthday would shine. The city streets buzzed with life as Maya stepped out of her apartment building, the morning air crisp against her cheeks. She hugged her worn cardigan tighter around her shoulders, balancing a tote bag filled with Tupperware in her apron. Lily's laughter from the previous night still echoed in her mind, warming her chest despite the chill. The cafe wasn't far, a modest little place tucked between a flower shop and a dry cleaner, but for Maya, it was a lifeline. Every day, she poured herself into making perfect lattes, wiping counters until they gleamed, and greeting regulars with a smile, even when her feet ached and her back screamed in protest. "Morning, Maya," called out Carla, her co-worker, as Maya pushed open the cafe door. Carla's red hair was tucked into a messy bun, and she waved a coffee pot like a trophy. "Another busy day, huh?" "Morning," Maya replied, her voice soft but cheerful. "Looks like it. Hope you're ready for chaos." The cafe was already filling with the hum of conversation, clinking mugs, and the hiss of the espresso machine. Maya tied her apron, shoved stray hair behind her ears, and took a deep breath. She liked this place, the rhythm, the small victories, the brief moments when a customer's smile made all the exhaustion fade. As she arranged pastries in a display case, her eyes fell on Lily's handmade card, folded carefully in her apron pocket. Maya pulled it out and unfolded it. The scribbled letters and childish drawings brought a lump to her throat. A rainbow-colored heart, a stick figure holding a balloon, and the words "Best Mom in the World" scrawled across the top. A small smile spread across her face. "You're right, Lily," she whispered to herself. "We'll make magic." The morning rush hit like a wave. Maya moved with practiced precision, taking orders, frothing milk, balancing trays. She barely noticed the world outside, lost in the small universe of steaming coffee and polite smiles. Then, in walked a man who seemed different from the usual crowd. Tall, impeccably dressed, with an air of authority and quiet confidence. His eyes scanned the cafe, landing briefly on Maya as she delivered cappuccino to a nearby table. He approached the counter, setting down a folder that looked far too important to be carried around so casually. "I'll have a latte," he said, his tone polite but firm. "Of course, sir," Maya replied, moving quickly to prepare the drink. Her hand shook slightly. She was used to busy mornings, but there was something in the way he carried himself, like he owned the world outside, that made her nervous. As she handed him the latte, her elbow brushed the edge of his folder, sending papers fluttering to the floor. "Oh, I'm so sorry," Maya exclaimed, kneeling to help him gather the documents. Her face burned with embarrassment. The man bent down as well, picking up the papers with careful precision. "It's all right," he said, a hint of a smile tugging at his lips. "No harm done." Maya's heart thumped. I just... She shook her head. "I'll be more careful next time." He straightened, holding the paper securely. His eyes softened as he looked at her. "You're working hard," he said quietly, not as a criticism, but as an observation. "I can see it." Maya blinked, startled. Thank you," she murmured, unsure how to respond to someone noticing the effort she usually hid behind routine. The man nodded, accepting the latte with a small nod of appreciation. As he turned to leave, Maya caught his gaze one last time. There was something in it, something kind, thoughtful, maybe even curious. When the door closed behind him, Maya exhaled deeply. Her heart still raced, a mixture of nerves and something she couldn't name. She glanced down at Lily's cardigan, clinging to it like a talisman. "Maybe life has little surprises," she whispered. The morning passed in a blur. Regulars came and went. Orders were filled, laughter and chatter bounced off the walls. Maya moved through it all, carrying Lily's hope in her pocket and a tiny spark of curiosity in her heart. Curiosity about the mysterious man who had noticed her, if only for a moment. By the time the lunch rush hit, Maya felt a little lighter. She knew tomorrow would be hard, juggling work and preparing a modest birthday celebration for Lily. But she also knew that even the smallest gestures, a homemade card, a heartfelt smile, could create magic that money could never buy. And somewhere in the city, in a glass tower far above the crowded streets, the man in the suit, Ethan Collins, CEO of Collins Toys, was thinking about the mother who had spilled coffee on his papers, yet still greeted the world with kindness. He didn't know it yet, but their paths were about to cross again, and this time, in a way that would change both their lives forever. Even after a long shift at the cafe, Maya Thompson felt no rest. The small apartment smelled faintly of coffee, baked oats, and the faint hint of scented candles she had lit earlier to make it feel festive. Lily was bouncing on the sofa, pointing at every corner with ideas. "Mom, we need balloons, and cupcakes, and a crown." Lily's excitement was contagious, and Maya couldn't help but smile, despite the exhaustion pulling at her shoulders. "I know, baby," Maya said, adjusting a crooked ribbon on a chair. "We'll have it all." Maybe not in a store-bought way, but our way. Lily tilted her head, frowning in mock seriousness. Our way. Yes, Maya said, kneeling to meet her daughter's gaze. Our way. Full of fun, magic, and love. That's the best kind of birthday, don't you think? Lily grinned, clapping her hands. The best! Maya took a deep breath and surveyed their tiny living room. The couch had been pushed against the wall, the coffee table cleared, and old sheets turned into makeshift tablecloths. She had saved colored paper and stickers from last year, planning to create homemade decorations. She set Lily to work folding paper stars, guiding her tiny fingers with gentle patience. The room filled with laughter and chatter, punctuated by the occasional groan when a star refused to fold properly. While they worked, Maya allowed herself a brief moment of reflection. She remembered her own childhood, the tiny apartment where she had celebrated birthdays with cardboard crowns and hand-me-down dolls. Her mother had done her best, too, and Maya felt the warmth of that memory mingle with a quiet ache, wishing she could give Lily more. By mid-afternoon, the living room had transformed into a cozy, colorful wonderland. Strings of paper stars hung from the ceiling. A hand-painted banner read, "Happy Birthday, Lily." And a small pile of cupcakes sat on the table, frosted imperfectly but with love. Maya wiped her hands on her apron and looked at her daughter, who was now dancing in circles with a makeshift crown perched crookedly on her head. "You did this all, Mom?" Lily asked, eyes wide with wonder. "I did," Maya said softly, feeling a lump in her throat. "We did it together." There was a knock at the door, and Maya's neighbor, Mrs. Jensen, appeared with a small wrapped gift. "Happy birthday, Lily," she said, handing it over with a warm smile. "I thought this might brighten your day a little." Lily tore into it excitedly, revealing a small puzzle set. Her eyes sparkled, and she threw her arms around Mrs. Jensen in a hug. "Thank you," she squealed. Maya watched, heart swelling. Even small gestures could mean so much. Later, as the sun dipped below the horizon and the city lights flickered on, Maya prepared dinner. Simple sandwiches and fruit, but served with a ceremonious flourish. They ate together, talking about school, dreams, and all the things Lily hoped for in the coming year. Finally, as Lily's eyelids drooped and the excitement began to fade, Maya tucked her into bed. She brushed Lily's hair back, holding her close. "Mom," Lily whispered, her voice soft and sleepy, "this is the best birthday ever, even without the Barbie." Maya's heart ached with love. "It's because you're happy, baby. That's all I ever want. You, laughing, smiling, that's the magic." Lily drifted off to sleep, clutching her handmade card. Maya stayed by her side for a moment longer, watching her chest rise and fall in gentle rhythm. A quiet determination settled over her. She would make tomorrow beautiful, no matter what. Little did she know, someone else was already watching. High above the city, in a sleek office lined with glass and polished wood, Ethan Collins checked the schedule, then paused, remembering the mother he had met in the cafe. Her warmth, her dedication, her genuine kindness, it had lingered with him. For a man used of wealth, power, and efficiency, he found her sincerity refreshing, almost shocking. A thought formed in his mind, a small, subtle idea, a chance to make a difference, a way to touch lives without making a spectacle of it. And somewhere deep in his heart, he felt the stirring of curiosity. The mother, the daughter, the little apartment filled with hope, they were about to become part of his story. The morning sun spilled over the cafe's glass windows, casting warm golden light on the polished counters and the rows of pastries that gleamed invitingly. Maya Thompson stepped in, already feeling the familiar rhythm of her day, taking orders, frothing milk, and keeping her eyes on a little clock above the counter. It was going to be a busy morning, but Maya didn't mind. Busy meant distraction. Busy meant that tonight, when she returned home, she could focus all her energy on Lily and her modest, magical birthday celebration. As she wiped down a table, she noticed a door chime and looked up, and there he was. Ethan Collins, impeccably dressed in a crisp suit, walked in with the same quiet confidence that had made Maya's heart skip a beat the first time they met. He carried himself differently from the other customers, not rushed, not flustered, just deliberate. observant. Maya's stomach fluttered. She had barely processed their first accidental meeting, and now he was here again, as if drawn back by curiosity, or perhaps something else. "Good morning," he said, approaching the counter, his voice calm and warm. "Good morning," Maya replied, forcing a smile while her hands betrayed her nerves, fidgeting with the edge of her apron. As she prepared his latte, her mind raced. Just a regular customer, Maya. Treat him like everyone else. But the moment her elbow brushed the folder on the counter, sending papers tumbling once more, her composure faltered. "Oh no, I'm so sorry," she exclaimed, kneeling to gather the sheets. Ethan crouched as well, helping her. "It's all right," he said gently. "It's just paper." Maya bit her lip, embarrassed. "I should really be more careful. It's just mornings are busy." Her words stumbled over themselves. Ethan chuckled softly, a sound that made her chest warm unexpectedly. "Busy mornings happen to the best of us," he said, handing her a paper. "I notice, though, you handle it all so gracefully. Even with a chaotic morning, you haven't lost your smile." Maya blinked. Graceful? Smile? She wasn't used to strangers noticing these small things. She usually tried to hide the exhaustion behind a polite demeanor. "Hey, thank you," she whispered, unsure what else to say. He nodded, his eyes lingering on her briefly before he straightened. "Here's your latte," she said, handing it over carefully, as if afraid it might slip from her hands. He accepted it with a small smile. "You got a lot of care in what you do," he said quietly. "It shows." Maya flushed. I just try my best. That's all." There was a pause, comfortable yet charged with something she couldn't quite name. Then Ethan's gaze drifted slightly, catching sight of the small, colorful card peeking out from Maya's apron pocket. The handwriting was unmistakably childlike. "What's this?" he asked softly, nodding toward the card. "Oh, that—" Maya's cheeks reddened. "It's Lily's. She made it for her birthday tomorrow. I just keep it with me, so I remember why I work so hard." Ethan's lips curved into a subtle smile, a mixture of admiration and warmth. "She's lucky to have a mom like you," he said. Maya blinked, caught off guard. Compliments didn't come easily to her life. And yet, there it was, an acknowledgement that she was seen, appreciated, even if just for a fleeting moment. "I thank you," she said again, softly. He nodded, a hint of something unspoken in his gaze, and left a tip that was far more generous than she could have imagined. Then he walked out, leaving Maya with a fluttering heart and a lingering sense of hope. For the rest of the morning, she moved through her tasks with a lighter step. The chaos of orders, steaming milk, and ringing bells seemed less overwhelming. Somehow, the encounter had infused her day with unexpected warmth. And somewhere high above the city, Ethan Collins returned to his office, still thinking of the mother who had spilled coffee on his papers, yet greeted the world with kindness. The thought kept him awake that afternoon. There's something rare about her. Something good. He didn't know what he would do yet, but he knew he wanted to find a way to make a small difference in their lives. Just enough to bring a spark of magic. Just enough to see that smile again. The evening settled over the city, painting the sky in shades of gold and deepening purple. Inside their small apartment, Maya Thompson carefully placed the last of the homemade decorations. The paper stars twinkled faintly in the warm lamplight, and the banner above the couch, "Happy Birthday, Lily," swayed slightly from a gentle breeze at the cracked window. Lily, exhausted from a day of excitement and anticipation, had just been tucked into bed. Her small hands clutched a handmade card she had given her mother earlier, and her eyelids fluttered as she murmured a soft, "Good night, Mom." Maya leaned over, pressing a gentle kiss to her daughter's forehead. "Good night, baby. Sleep tight. Tomorrow will be magical." She lingered in the doorway, glancing back at the little face framed by the pink sheets and ribbon hair. Then she turned toward the living room, ready to collapse into a chair with a sigh of relief. That's when the doorbell rang. Maya froze, heart skipping. She wasn't expecting anyone. Visitors were rare, and her modest apartment wasn't often graced with surprises. Carefully, she tiptoed to the door, peering through the peephole. A delivery man stood outside, holding a neatly wrapped box. Maya took it from him, confusion written on her face. I didn't order anything, she murmured. The delivery man simply smiled. It's already paid for, ma'am. Enjoy. Maya closed the door and examined the box. It was elegant, wrapped in shimmering paper with a delicate ribbon. A small card attached read, "For Lily, a little magic for a wonderful daughter, and to honor a mother who loves fiercely. E.C." Her hands trembled as she carefully untied the ribbon. Inside, nestled in soft pink tissue paper, was a Barbie doll Lily had been dreaming of, the one Maya had whispered she couldn't afford. Maya's eyes welled up. She sank onto the couch, holding the box close to her chest. "Oh, Lily," she whispered, tears slipping down her cheeks. This is for you. Morning couldn't come fast enough." Or maybe Maya thought she didn't need morning. She wanted to see Lily's reaction right now, to witness her daughter's joy. The next morning, Lily's eyes fluttered open. Mom, today's my birthday," she squealed. "Happy birthday, baby," Maya said, trying to keep her composure. I have something for you." She brought the box on the couch and set it carefully on the bed. Lily's eyes widened in disbelief. "Is that—" Maya nodded, her own voice choked with emotion. "Yes, it's for you. Someone wanted to make sure you had the birthday you deserved." With trembling hands, Lily untied the ribbon and opened the box. Her gasp of delight was immediate, and she hugged the Barbie to her chest. "Mom, it's perfect. Thank you." Maya knelt beside her, holding her close. "You're welcome, baby. You deserve it." Lily spun around, her excitement contagious, laughing and dancing in the small room. Maya watched, a heart swelling with a mixture of joy, relief, and awe. She couldn't believe it. Someone had noticed. Someone had cared enough to make a dream come true. Later, as they played together, Ethan Collins appeared at the cafe once again. This time, it was a brief stop, but Maya noticed him watching with quiet satisfaction, aware that his small gesture had created such happiness. Maya returned the wave with a warm smile, a silent thank you that didn't require words. Somewhere in the intersection of their worlds, her modest apartment, his towering office, kindness had crossed paths, leaving behind a sparkle of magic. For Lily, it was a dream come true. For Maya, it was proof that love, dedication, and kindness could attract unexpected miracles. And for Ethan, it was a reminder that even the smallest gestures could change lives forever. As the day unfolded, cupcakes were eaten, decorations admired, and laughter filled the apartment. Maya watched her daughter twirl with the Barbie in her arms, the soft afternoon light catching her golden hair. And in that simple, quiet moment, Maya realized something profound. Life didn't need to be perfect. It didn't need to be expensive. Love, attention, and heart could create magic far beyond anything money could buy. The sun rose gently over the city, spilling a warm golden glow across the streets and rooftops. Inside their small apartment, the air was filled with the sweet scent of freshly baked cupcakes and the faint fragrance of the paper stars that still hung from the ceiling. Lily Thompson awoke with a sparkle in her eyes, clutching her new Barbie like the most precious treasure in the world. Mom, look," she squealed, spinning around in circles with laughter that made Maya's chest swell. Maya smiled, brushing a strand of hair from her daughter's face. "I see, baby. Looks like someone is very happy. I'm the happiest girl ever," Lily declared, hugging Maya tightly. "Thank you, Mom. And thank you." She paused, looking around, as if sensing the magic that had made her dream come true. Maya swallowed hard, her eyes moist. "It's okay, baby. You deserve it." They spent the morning in a whirl of joy, cupcakes, dancing, singing, and imaginative play. Lily even insisted on a fashion show with her new Barbie, parading across the living room while Maya clapped enthusiastically. The apartment, small and simple, was transformed by laughter, love, and the pure, uncontainable delight of a child. Later, as they took a break, Maya looked out the window at the bustling city below. She thought about the small gestures, the kindness that had reached them in unexpected ways. And then she noticed a familiar figure across the street. Ethan Collins, standing outside the cafe, watching her apartment with a faint, thoughtful smile. Maya's heart skipped. She hadn't expected to see him today. Not here, not now. And yet, there he was, quietly observing, as if checking that everything had gone well. Inside, Lily danced over to her mom, holding the Barbie aloft. "Mom, can we make a tea party for Barbie?" Maya chuckled, nodding. "Of course, baby. Let's set it up." They gathered mismatched cups, saucers, and a small plate of cupcakes. Lily carefully placed a Barbie in the center, and Maya poured imaginary tea, exaggerating every gesture to make her daughter laugh. Lily's giggles filled the room, echoing off the walls like music. After a while, Lily leaned against her mother, exhaustion finally catching up to her. "Mom," she whispered, "this was the best birthday ever. Even better than I imagined." Maya hugged her tightly. "I'm so glad, baby. This is what matters. The love, the fun, the magic we make together. That's what makes it the best." From the cafe across the street, Ethan watched the scene unfold through the glass. He couldn't see the intimate words exchanged between mother and daughter, but he could feel the warmth radiating from their small apartment. He smiled to himself, knowing that his small act had amplified the love that was already there. A few moments later, he walked into the cafe, casually placing an order, though his eyes lingered on Maya. She noticed him and gave a shy wave, a mixture of gratitude and embarrassment coloring her cheeks. He returned the gesture with a gentle nod. No words were necessary. Connection had been established in small, meaningful ways. Maya reflected on the morning, watching Lily's soft, sleepy breathing as her daughter rested beside her after the tea party. "Life doesn't need to be perfect," she whispered softly to herself, "just full of love, attention, and little miracles." Outside, the city moved on, unaware of the small apartment filled with joy, laughter, and the quiet magic of a birthday celebrated not with wealth, but with heart. For Maya, this day marked more than her daughter's birthday. It was proof that love, kindness, and the unexpected generosity of strangers could create moments that would be remembered forever. And for Lily, it was a lesson she would carry in her heart. Dreams could come true, not just because of what money could buy, but because of love, and sometimes because of the kindness of someone who noticed, cared, and quietly made the impossible possible. The days that followed Lily's birthday carried a quiet magic that lingered in Maya Thompson's heart. Life didn't suddenly change. Rent was still due. Work at the cafe still demanded long hours, and the city still hummed with the chaos of ordinary mornings. But something intangible had shifted. A sense of hope, a spark that made the weight of daily struggles a little lighter. Maya found herself smiling more, laughing more freely with Lily, and even at the cafe, she carried herself with a newfound confidence. She noticed small details she had overlooked before: the soft sunlight falling on the counter, a customer's genuine smile, the faint scent of flowers from the shop next door. Life, she realized, could feel brighter even in ordinary moments. Ethan Collins, meanwhile, had subtly woven himself into this quiet rhythm. He began stopping by the cafe more often, not just as a customer, but with little gestures of kindness. A book for Maya to read during her rare breaks, a fresh bouquet of flowers for Lily, a simple note of encouragement. He never imposed, never flaunted his wealth, only gently extended support, recognizing the dignity and strength in Maya's daily life. One afternoon, as Maya wiped down tables during a rare lull, Ethan approached her. "You're really good at this," he said, his tone warm. "Not just the coffee or the service, but everything. You care about people. You make them feel seen." Maya laughed softly, brushing back a strand of hair. "I just do my best. It's all I know how to do." "But that's what makes it remarkable," he said, handing her a small envelope. "I thought you might like a little something, just to make life easier." Curious, Maya opened it discreetly. Inside was a voucher for a local store, enough to buy necessities without worry for a few weeks. She blinked, overwhelmed. I can't accept this," she said, feeling the familiar sting of pride and hesitation. "Please," Ethan said gently, "consider it a thank you for showing me what kindness and dedication really look like. Nothing more." Maya hesitated, then nodded, touched by the sincerity in his eyes. "Thank you," she whispered, carefully tucking the envelope into her apron pocket. Later, at home, she shared the story with Lily, who hugged her mother tightly. "Mom, you're amazing. Someone thinks you're amazing." Maya laughed, ruffling her daughter's hair. "Not just anyone, baby. A kind friend noticed, that's all." In the evenings, after work, Maya found herself thinking about Ethan, not romantically, at least not yet, but with gratitude. His quiet attention, his respect, and his subtle support reminded her that the world wasn't entirely harsh, that sometimes goodness came from unexpected places, bridging lives that might otherwise never intersect. One rainy afternoon, Maya and Lily sat by the window, crafting paper dolls together. Lily giggled as she tried to dress her dolls in imaginative outfits. Maya looked at her daughter's joy and realized how much she had grown over the past weeks. Not in money or possessions, but in spirit. "You know, Mom," Lily said thoughtfully, "I think people like toys. Some are shiny and new. Some are small and worn. But the ones that care, they make you happy no matter what." Maya's heart ached with pride and love. "You're wise beyond your years, baby." And somewhere across town, Ethan Collins reviewed his schedule but paused, a soft smile forming on his face. He thought of the small apartment, the laughter of a child, the dedication of a mother. It wasn't wealth or power that mattered. It was these quiet moments of connection, of witnessing love in action, that felt truly meaningful. For Maya, life wasn't suddenly perfect, but the connection she begun to form, with Ethan, with her community, and with a deepening sense of confidence in herself, made the days richer. She was learning that growth came not from luck or money, but from kindness, persistence, and the courage to keep giving love even when the world seemed indifferent. In this small, ordinary apartment, surrounded by laughter, crafts, and the soft glow of evening light, Maya Thompson discovered something extraordinary. The quiet, steady magic of a life filled with love, connection, and hope. Word of Lily's birthday and the story of the mysterious gift had begun to ripple through the small circle of Maya Thompson's life, not in the sense of gossip, but as quiet admiration. Friends, neighbors, and co-workers were touched by the simple yet profound demonstration of kindness that had transformed a little girl's birthday. At the cafe, Maya noticed it first. Customers smiled a little brighter, lingering over their coffees. Carla nudged her one morning, whispering, "People have been talking about how hard you work for Lily, and how amazing you are. You know, you really deserve some good things." Maya shook her head, laughing softly. "I'm just a mom trying my best," she said, though her heart warmed at the thought. Even Mrs. Jensen, the neighbor who had gifted Lily the puzzle, stopped by more often, leaving small treats on Maya's doorstep. "You don't always get noticed, dear," she said kindly, "but the world sees good hearts, even when they go unrecognized." Lily, of course, noticed too. "Mom, everyone thinks you're amazing," she exclaimed, hugging her mother tightly. "Even the people I don't know." Maya hugged her back, smiling through tears. "It's not about what people think, baby. It's about doing the right thing, loving with all you've got, and caring for those around you." Inspired by these little acts of acknowledgement, Maya began to reach out more herself. She offered a free pastry to a struggling mother at the cafe, helped a neighbor carry groceries, and spent more time playing and teaching Lily lessons about sharing kindness and gratitude. These small gestures, like ripples on water, returned to her in subtle, meaningful ways. And Ethan? He continued his quiet support from afar. One afternoon, Maya noticed a handwritten note slipped under her cafe apron. "Keep being amazing. E.C." She smiled, feeling the encouragement as much as the warmth in her heart. No grand gestures, just subtle reminders that goodness existed in the world. One day, while walking Lily to the small playground nearby, Maya saw some of Lily's classmates gathered, talking excitedly. "Did you hear about Lily's birthday?" one of the children whispered. "Her mom made everything herself, and someone gave her the Barbie. That's amazing." Lily grinned and looked up at Maya, eyes sparkling. "See, Mom? Everyone's talking about you." Maya bent down to her daughter's level, brushing her hair behind her ear. "It doesn't matter what they say, baby. What matters is how we treat people, how we care, and the love we give. That's what makes a difference." As they walked hand in hand, Maya felt a quiet satisfaction. The apartment, the cafe, and even the city itself had become slightly brighter because of the choices she had made. Love over despair, kindness over bitterness, and courage over fear. Later that evening, back in her apartment, Maya reflected on the small miracles of the past weeks. Life had tested her, but she had emerged stronger, filled with hope. She looked at Lily, asleep with her Barbie beside her, and whispered, "We made magic, baby, together." Ethan Collins, watching from his office across town, thought about how small gestures could inspire change. He didn't need recognition or thanks. He only needed to know that his encouragement had allowed kindness to flourish. The story of a small apartment, a hardworking mother, a joyful daughter, and a mysterious gift had quietly become more than just a birthday celebration. It was a testament to how love, generosity, and empathy could ripple through a community, creating warmth far beyond what money alone could ever achieve. In the end, Maya understood something profound. The world may be vast and unpredictable, but the heart's capacity for love and the courage to act on it could light up lives, one small, meaningful moment at a time. The city had settled into its evening rhythm, a soft hum of traffic, distant sirens, and the occasional laughter of children returning home from playgrounds. In their small apartment, Maya Thompson sat on the couch, Lily curled against her side, the little Barbie doll tucked under her arm. It had been days since a birthday, but the joy still lingered, like sunlight that refused to fade. Maya traced the edges of Lily's card once more, marveling at how such a small thing could carry so much meaning. "You know, Mom," Lily murmured, her voice sleepy, "that was the best birthday ever. Not because of the Barbie, but because you made it perfect." Maya hugged her tighter, heart swelling. "It's because you're happy, baby. That's the magic. That's what makes life beautiful." The apartment, small and modest, felt full of laughter, love, and warmth that no luxury could match. Maya realized that every late shift at the cafe, every moment of worry and sacrifice, had been worth it for this. Lily's uncontainable joy, her trust, and the simple, pure bond between mother and daughter. Across town, Ethan Collins sat in his office, looking out at the city lights. He thought of the little apartment, the laughter, and the mother who had handled life with such grace. A quiet smile touched his lips. He didn't need recognition for the small gestures he had made, nor did he seek it. Seeing the joy he had helped spark, however subtly, was reward enough. For Maya, life wasn't perfect. Bills still needed paying, work still demanded long hours, and challenges would always return. But the lessons of the past weeks had crystallized into something stronger: hope, resilience, and the understanding that love and kindness, given freely and sincerely, could change lives. She kissed Lily's forehead, whispering softly, "Sleep well, baby. Always remember, the world is full of magic, sometimes in the smallest gestures, sometimes in the biggest surprises, and sometimes it's in the people who see your heart." Lily sighed happily, drifting into dreams filled with laughter, toys, and adventures that only a child's imagination could conjure. Maya leaned back, letting herself exhale for the first time in days. Life was still messy, imperfect, and unpredictable, but it was also beautiful, full of connections, moments of grace, and the quiet magic that could appear when hearts remained open. And somewhere in the city, paths that had once been separate began to intertwine. Maya didn't yet know what the future held with Ethan Collins, but she felt no fear. She only felt gratitude, hope, and the quiet thrill of possibility. For Lily, it had been the best birthday. For Maya, it had been a reminder that love and kindness were more valuable than gold, more lasting than wealth, and more magical than any toy. In the small apartment, as the city lights blinked on one by one, mother and daughter slept peacefully, hearts full, dreams bright, and a gentle promise lingering in the air that love, generosity, and hope would always find a way to bloom, even in the smallest of places. And with that, the story came full circle. From whispered worries over a Barbie doll to the realization that life's true magic comes from the heart, Maya Thompson learned the most important lesson of all. Giving love freely can bring miracles in the most unexpected ways. The city lights twinkled softly outside Maya Thompson's small apartment window, casting a warm glow across the living room. The faint hum of distant traffic and the occasional honk of a taxi seemed almost musical, a quiet symphony underscoring the calm inside. Lily slept peacefully on the couch, her small hands clutching the Barbie doll she had dreamed about, a tiny smile on her lips. Maya sat beside her daughter, brushing a strand of hair from her forehead, taking in the simple beauty of the moment. The scattered paper stars, the hand-painted banner, and the little cupcakes still resting on the table were silent witnesses to a day filled with joy, laughter, and love. A modest celebration, yes, but one that had transformed into something magical. Not because of gifts, but because of the heart poured into every detail. She reflected on the past few weeks, the long hours at the cafe, the quiet struggle to make ends meet, the whispered worry about not being able to give Lily the things she deserved. And then she thought of Ethan Collins, the kind stranger who had noticed her dedication, the CEO who had quietly and generously bridged the gap between her worries and her daughter's dream. It hadn't been about the money. It had been about seeing, appreciating, and respecting the love of a mother. Maya leaned back, let herself exhale deeply. Life wasn't perfect. There were bills to pay, shifts to work, and challenges still waiting around the corner. But tonight, she felt a deep, unshakable sense of fulfillment. For in this small apartment, in the laughter and wonder of her daughter, she saw proof that love, pure, persistent, and generous, was more powerful than any obstacle. She looked once more at Lily, peaceful in sleep, and whispered, "We've made magic, baby. Magic that no money could ever buy." Her voice was soft, steady, filled with gratitude and quiet triumph. Outside, across the city, Ethan Collins glanced out his office window at the twinkling lights below. He thought of Maya and Lily, of the little apartment glowing with warmth and love, and felt a sense of contentment. Small gestures could indeed create ripples that change lives. Seeing their happiness, even from afar, was reward enough. Maya's thoughts wandered to the future, not just immediate worries, but the endless possibilities. She realized that life, though unpredictable, could be beautiful in the smallest, most unexpected ways. Opportunities, friendships, and moments of joy could appear when hearts remained open. And perhaps, just perhaps, love could find its way into places she had never dared to hope. She stood slowly, taking one last glance at the sleeping child and the quiet apartment. Tomorrow would bring its challenges, but tonight she let herself linger in this moment, letting gratitude fill every corner of her heart. She felt the extraordinary power of ordinary things, a mother's care, a child's laughter, a stranger's kindness, and the subtle miracles that happen when hearts align. Maya whispered again, softly but firmly, "No matter what life brings, we have love, and that will always be enough." And in the quiet, magical stillness of the night, mother and daughter slept peacefully, hearts full, spirits light, and a gentle promise lingering in the air, that love, generosity, and hope could always find a way to bloom, even in the smallest of places. Because sometimes the smallest gestures, the whispered words, the thoughtful smiles, the unseen act of kindness, carry the greatest power. And as Maya drifted into her own rest, she knew with certainty that the world, despite its challenges, could still be a place of miracles, joy, and love.